hello again, and yet another mod review. RE4, again, quite popular, isn't it? Considering I think I've played more RE4 in the last kind of like couple of weeks than I have like probably in the last couple of years. You know, but again, this is the beauty of mods, isn't it? This is the beauty of modifications on Resident Evil. It doesn't force you, but it brings you back to the other older titles if you're kind of bored of that vanilla experience. Now, I won't say like, you know, Resident Evil bores me, but I've made it quite clear in, you know, other, you know, videos I've done and other things I've said that I love the games, but, you know, I've done them so many times that I don't feel the need to dissect them anymore, because there are people that do that already. There are people that dissect these games. They go deep, go into the lore, go into the story, and I don't need to do all that stuff because I know it. I'm sure other people know it, but I'm not one of those people that does it. So, what do we have here today? Well, we have Resident Evil 4 Dark Inferno demo by Scoovy. Now, I will say this: Scoovy's been very, very helpful these last few weeks. You know, as he playing the Deep Web Royale edition. Go and check that review out if you haven't seen it already. And also, you know, seeing the hard work that, you know, Scoovy does for the Resident Evil 4 modding community. You know, I don't pretend to know all the details, but I know that work goes in, you know, and it's always nice to see when a creator takes a bit of time for themselves to make something new. And when I talk about Dark Inferno, I'm talking about something new. I won't ruin it if anyone wants to try this, you know, the demo, which will be available in the description below. But what I will say is about it is that it's very adventurous, custom skin, brand new sort of story beats to it. Definitely a new way to kind of play RE4 again. I mean, RE4 mods do suffer from that kind of like, you know, constant kind of, you know, throwing tons of chainsaw dudes at you and throwing tons of hard enemies at you to kind of overwhelm you. But I think Dark Inferno has an element of being overrun, but it doesn't. You're not overrun in the wrong way. You're overrun in the right way. You've got your pawns, which I will say are like the, you know, the base enemy, you know, the base enemies, like the base Plagas types, let's say. Then you've got your kind of your rooks, you know, the big guys, you know, the guys that come in and disrupt your kind of calm momentum that you've got going on. And that's what Dark Inferno does. It has that kind of, you know, it lets you feel calm, but then it throws you into a hectic momentum, making your way through the beginning to the middle to the end of the demo, which does end at the lake on the boat. I think it's Del Lago is the name of the creature in the lake. Apologies, my Resident Evil 4 enemy knowledge name isn't quite up there. But yeah, you know, Dark Inferno does a great job of that. It does require, like I would say, I guess, you know, some knowledge of RE4, some enemy knowledge, some playing knowledge. I will say that it's very uncomfortable if you're not familiar with all the enemy types and maybe modifications of RE4. So maybe starting off with something not less, I would say, it's probably the wrong term. I'd say maybe something more kind of, you know, not as demanding on your kind of skill set, and you know, ease you into this, because this does, again, it's not impossible to finish, but it does cause you some kind of aggravation at the start. So we'll start at the beginning, not to give anything away, but the beginning there's a part that I found quite tedious. You know, it's probably one of the negative things I'll take away from it, is that the opening took me a while. Start with an underpowered weapon against a very powerful enemy, and you have to defeat a few of these enemies to, like, well, I say a few, you have to defeat one or two of them to kind of progress. Now, whereas obviously that's, you know, not a problem for, it's not a problem for most players, probably for RE4, but I think for players like me who don't do it all the time, I found it quite tough. You know, it was quite tough knowing that one mistake could do me, and I'm burning all my HP and all my ammo to kill this enemy, knowing full well that I'm gonna have to do it again for another enemy. So I guess, like, in terms of maybe kind of the negative side of these things, I would prefer maybe I mean, there is difficulties to this. This is normal. There is a difficulty lower than this to, make enemies have less HP, which I guess if I'm complaining about maybe kind of some small balancing or some maybe kind of adjustments, maybe that is the adjustment there, but the easier difficulty with less HP enemies. But again, that does take away from the challenge. This is like, meant to be a challenge. So, but again, it comes down to kind of preference. If you're good at RE4, this won't be too much of a, hard thing. If you're quite bad at RE4, hold your hand up next to me. You're going to have a little bit of, a little bit of a struggle, which I did. Admittedly, I did struggle a tiny bit. As you can see in this video behind, behind me, the video you're seeing now. This is like, the section where you're collecting 2 of the emblem pieces to combine to put into a door to get out of this area. Cool. Took me a while. This, like enemies are going absolutely fanatic against you, like swinging away, swinging wild, and you've got to get headshots. Limited resources, but plenty of pistol ammo, limited shotgun. Well, actually, tell a lie, I didn't get the shotgun because I missed it. Limited rifle, limited other bullets, and it just forces you to kind of adapt and look for little strategies and ways to kind of progress through areas. So that was nice. And noticeable features definitely are, Leon's new skin, and changes to the environment. One which I won't ruin, so I highly recommend you play the mod to see that change. It's actually a new tech that's been put into an RE4 mod, brand new tech, and quite excited to see how that transforms the game and develops further. So really cool stuff. As you can probably see from the thumbnail, blood red sky, and that's prominent throughout. Because this was a demo in this section here, you won't see the sky because Scoovy didn't put it in or forgot to put it in, so it wasn't updated. But that's this is why it's a demo. We're playing for the enjoyment. We're playing to see. Sometimes creators see things they don't when they're making these things. So overall, Dark Inferno is really, really good. Demo so far has a lot of potential. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes story beat wise, and how new areas and new locations, new things that messed around with, and I'm glad it's not just like a massive. I'm glad it separates itself. It's not just like kind of like a massive boss rush, mod. It's separating itself from the pack. You could say I've played this mod that has X amount of chainsaw guys, then I played this mod that has X amount of bosses, but then I've played this mod that has these features in it, these elements, these things that set it apart from other mods. Because that's the main thing. You can always do the same stuff in a different way, but it's that special something that always sets another mod apart from another mod. And in Dark Inferno's case, it's that, that story beat that's going to be added to it, that new tech that's going to be added to it, that new skin that's been added to it, that new layer that's been added to it, that new, way to play, building on experience, building on knowledge, building on seeing what's come before you again. Just like I said before with the Sea of Ruin mod review, building on what's come before, but taking it in your own direction, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of skill. So, totally admire people for doing that. As far as rank goes for this, I'll definitely give it an A. The reason I wouldn't give it an S is because obviously, it's not even the full game. I've not seen the full features and it's not been fully modified. But I'm definitely giving this a solid A, very solid A. I'll have to look back through my my reviews actually and see if there's anything lower than an A, because it's been a streak of A's and S's recently. So I'll have to double check to see. But there are, I'm sure there'll be a mod at some point. But I can definitely tell you it won't not be Dark Inferno by Scoovy, Resident Evil 4. So please make sure check out the links below to Scoovy's YouTube channel. Please make sure you check out the page, give it a subscribe. Please make sure you subscribe here. Please make sure you come to the Twitch channel. And give us a follow if you actually watch Twitch or are interested. I'm really hoping to get some more of this in the future once more's been done. But like I said before, it's a great bit of work, and really excited to see what comes next. Again, there's not much more I can say because I don't want to ruin the experience, but again, I want to say that the ideas so far and what's been told to me and presented to me is very exciting, and I really hope it comes to fruition and it becomes that next great mod that lines itself up with, you know, the other great RE4 mods that get mentioned a lot, like Life in Hell, Made in Hell, stuff like that. You know, and this will be added to that list. You know, there probably are other RE4 mods. Again, I'm not an expert on mods and RE4, but I believe this will make the list. You know, it'll be up there with them, and they'll be saying Resident Evil 4, Dark Inferno, rolls off the tongue beautifully. So I'm pretty sure the mod will roll off the eyes beautifully as well. So that being said, thanks so much, appreciate it, and yeah, make sure to check out all of the links below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I know you guys are watching. Take care. Bye bye. Yeah, I don't think I could do this professional. I'll get absolutely destroyed, man.